This is Musie's YouTube podcast recorded on August 4th, 2014. I'm exhausted, tired, thirsty, and really freaking out. So a lot of changes have been occurring. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step occurrence of how I am managing my money. Because I'm going to be moving for full-time school an hour away from here in an apartment using the money that I am loaning from the government. This might not be the smartest move to make. But unfortunately, I do not have the mental capacity to go out and work full-time as well as school full-time. So I'm going to have to just do school strictly and use the FAFSA money to pull me through. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break you down into how to kind of organize yourself financially. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a process, so I don't expect you guys to have this done in a couple of days. I expect you to have a little bit of time to kind of analyze your spending. How much are you spending? How are you spending it? And hopefully we can see a very simple aesthetic way of how to look at your money. Now, I'm going to safely assume that some of you are freshmen, maybe even sophomores, who have the lovely luxury of your parents paying everything for you. You poor sick children. But I've had to pay for a lot of my things myself. My phone, my car insurance, my car payments. If there are any things like that, this is what's going to be interesting for you. You have to break down what you're spending. And this was a fun thing for me to do. In fact, I've made a couple of mistakes already on my paperwork. But that's okay. More paper, the better. Now, here's an interesting thing that I want to make note to you guys. When you're writing out money, in any way, shape, or form, and you're trying to estimate what costs what, always round up. So if you suspect that it's like $29.99 a month for internet, round up to $35 to estimate for interest, tax, whatever may apply to whatever spending you're using, if anything like that, always round up. So, here's the situation for me. I have to pull out more money than I need for school. So, we have an X amount that I am pulling out, and that money is going towards rent and food, etc. for myself in an apartment, which is completely fine, and the government's well aware that you do that. You need that. How else are you supposed to go to school full-time? They don't expect people to, work full and study full. There's no way that would work. My mind would never allow such a thing. So, what I'm going to do is help you guys break down what you need for spending. Now, there's some few things that come right off the bat for people automatically. Rent or house payment, utilities, sometimes included, sometimes not, internet, gas, car, food, and phone. Now, these are your main basic subjects that you're going to be paying for. These will change. Ask your parents. Sit down with them when they're paying their bills and watch the money disappear. Because it goes pretty quick out the door. Not kidding. It's a really big step. You'll feel a little embarrassed. It's going to happen. But you're going to feel better afterwards when you sat there and go, you know what? It's a good thing I did that because now I have a better idea of how money works. Because it's never that easy. Now, I'm actually going to explain something that I did to help myself with my financial future because I'm actually going to start doing this from now on. I'm going to create these big long sheets of paper. I'm actually using the, I don't know what this is called. I actually lost the cover for them. But they're these long sheets of paper. Usually you can find them in the art section. They're the larger drawing paper. I'm using that as my kind of pamphlet or my template. That's the word I'm looking for. Template to kind of lay out how I spend money per month. Now, in my case, I have a few things I have to pay off first before I get my final total of how much I owe. But that's okay. The money that I owe is going to go out in one swing. If there's anything you need to pay off, say you have $100 left in a medical bill, or you have a couple $100 you need to pay off for a car, take that into account and take that off the main total if you can, unless you're going to do continuous payments. If you're going to do continuous payments, there's nothing wrong with that. But I would highly recommend getting it all chunked out now. That way you don't have to worry about tax and other fees that may apply, especially if it's running low or running close to the due date. However, for the sake of argument, we're going to go ahead and say that after everything's been settled and you've paid off everything else you need to pay for, your final total is... Okay, let's say you have $10,000 worth for FAFSA. Now, what is FAFSA? FAFSA is the system in which you borrow money from the government and then they interest you to hell and back so that they make money off you. This isn't sarcasm or being an asshole, it's the truth. But basically, you pull out more of what you need in order to survive while going to school. So you're not only paying for school with the FAFSA money, you're using it as a way to help you get through what you need to get through for school, such as rent and etc., in order for you to pretty much get through everything. Now, I'm pretty much going to be almost on my own. I have a roommate, but I'm pretty much in the moment where I'm just drained to hell and back because I'm tired. My shoulder hurts for some reason. I've gotten adjusted twice, and for some reason my back is killing me. Don't know why. But I'm basically in that state of mind where I just want to, throw something. Literally, that's what I want to do is just throw something. But, let's say you have $10,000 to work with. Here's what I want you to do. Either grab a piece of notebook paper, or what I've done is grab the big long sheet of art paper, and you're going to make 13 lines. I can even wager to say 14 or 15 lines if you wish, but 13's fine. All across horizontally, leaving enough space for you to write. Make those all the way across the paper. So you have 13 horizontal lines going from up the top to the bottom. So you can write things and make sections. Actually, I believe it'll be 14 lines because you want 13 sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I would say 14 lines all across the paper to make sure so you have sections. On the left-hand side, upper left-hand corner, write the amount of money you are getting in total after you've paid for any major expenses you need to do. Any money you owe back to medical, car, whatever, if you have anything you need to pay back now, subtract that and put that grand total in the upper left-hand corner. That is your per year money amount. Also write down two other numbers. Per semester, which is your per year split in half, and per month, which is your half split into 6 months. So you have a full year amount, a half amount, and a 12th amount. This will give you kind of a better idea to see how much money is coming and going, and you kind of have a better idea of where that money is going to be going and how much you have to work with. That's in your column in the upper left-hand corner. And in each section thereafter, write down the months of the year, starting with the year that your school starts, or the year that you'll be moving into your apartment, or whenever you'll be moving into your dorm. Basically, I'm starting in August, so August will be my first month. August, September, October, November, December, January. That is 6 months. I put a bold line under January to symbolize that's the 6-month mark. And then keep going with February, March, April, May, June, July. Now, you can always get a job in the summer. I highly recommend this. Get a job in the summer if you're not going to school in the summer. If you are going to school in the summer, I still highly recommend splitting it between a 12-month period instead of a 6 to 9 month period. This way you can let the money stretch a little bit. And this is also expected in poverty. Now, you can also look into possibly getting a medical card. Some schools offer medical insurances. Contact your school for more information if they offer that, as well as food cards. You may be able to get a food card from your local city, which will also help you with food expenses. I'm going to be looking into that when I move up there for sure. So, you have 13 sections on the left-hand side, and 14 lines or so going across the page. All even and neat, I would hope. And so you're kind of just sitting there going, well, what do I do with this? Well, we're going to break down the items that you will need to spend. If you haven't been spending money already, ask your parents, what will you need to pay for? I'm sorry. Ask your parents. It's not a bad thing. They're there for a reason. Ask somebody of an adult to ask them help break down things you need. For me, I don't have to worry about utilities. It's included in my rent. But what you're going to do is you're going to write down those items that you need to spend either on a separate sheet of paper, or go ahead and write them on the upper border of that first line. Basically the same section where your paper aligns with those numbers that you wrote earlier. So all the things you spend is on the top row. Write down everything that you use to spend and border them off with lines vertically between each item. You should now have a grid with items that you spend on the top and months on the side, as well as your total number spendings on the upper left-hand corner. Now, Some of you might be wondering, what should I consider when paying for things for living on my own for expenses? This varies between different people. Some people don't need a phone. Some people don't need internet. Some people don't need car insurance. Some people do need car insurance. In the state of Ohio, I have to have car insurance. So that is a prominent thing. I need to have car insurance. So I have to mark that as part of my spendings. Food varies with certain people. Some people need to only spend $50. Some have to spend $100. Some have to spend $200. For me, luckily, our school offers a food plan. We are entitled to sign up for a food plan if we wish to. And I went for the lowest one because I also have a gluten allergy. So I don't want to be spending too much money going to school to eat when I can also make food for myself at home. So don't feel too bad about the money for food. If you know that there is one for your school, contact them and ask them about a food plan for your school. It's a good idea to kind of get with them and talk to them about, hey, what are my options? What does this mean? What does that mean? We have a meal plan system. So we have a 12, a 15, and a 19, I believe. So that's basically per swipes. So each swipe is a meal. So it's basically a main and 2 sides and a drink, usually is the case. You're going to write all of your expenses across the top of the page. What I personally have, and it's probably going to change here soon, is rent, internet, gas, car insurance. I might actually add car payment, I'm not 100% sure. Food, house supplies. I have a chiropractor, so I have to make sure I have a chiropractor. Phone, and I pay back my dad for, actually my engine went out in my car a few weeks ago, so I have to pay him back. Now, next to those items you are writing down, make sure to add how much it costs per item to spell out. For me, I'm estimating $30, $40 for internet. Since I don't know if my roommate will be interested in sharing it, I'm sure she will, but always round up like I said before. So I'm going to go ahead and say $30 for internet. I'm going to say $60, $70 for gas. Since I'm also going to live very close to the school, I don't foresee myself driving very far. Car insurance, food, etc. Round up. Now for phone, I'm varying since I'm using a phone card, so $30 to $45. Also put other special expenses, savings. Put some of it in the savings per month. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't forget your first month, whenever you rent out, will also have a deposit amount. Usually it's equal to the same amount as your rent. So in the month of August, I highly recommend that first box, when rent matches up with August, put plus in the amount of deposit you will need. This way you will be reminded to not only check the box, but you have to check that amount too. So you'll notice that I've created a grid system for you guys. Every month you check off one thing that you've paid for that month. As well as checking it off, write down how much you spent. So if food for that month was $60, write it down. Write down $60 for food on that grid. This way the money spreads easier, it's better organized, and it'll teach you where the money goes, and it creates a healthy habit of seeing where the money goes, not just in a little booklet, but right there in front of your face so you can see the money coming and going. 15 minutes in, and I already feel exhausted. So basically that's what I've decided to do with my money, is create this beautiful little grid system to use as a kind of template, if you will. Now, a lot of people are kind of confused on the whole saving money system, but it's FAFSA. I don't care if it's FAFSA or not. Save your money if you can. Now, a lot of things have been definitely changing for me, and I'm very much exhausted because of it. I'm drained, I'm tired, I'm gonna miss my boyfriend. Yes, I have a boyfriend. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I have a boyfriend. He lives a state away, and I'm gonna miss him dearly as I drain myself completely of the systematic educational broken system that this world has, as we've created a broken system of education. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with myself, especially since I have the next few days off of work. But I hope that I can use this time to not only help build up an education system for myself, but I can also create a good example for myself and know that I'm spending money and it's going to go where it needs to go and it's not going to be just thrown out the door. And I hope that I can still implement these things and ideas, etc., wherever I go. Because I want this experience these next couple of years to become my growing period, if you will, my growing period of me becoming an adult and trying to figure out my own path. And it's about time I've done this. I'm going to be 26 in a couple months. It's about time I did this. I'm slow to learn, but I do learn nonetheless. And I'm tired. I'm drained. My stomach's a little upset. I kind of have to use the bathroom, but this is more important to me right now than relieving my bowels. I'm 3/4 of the way packed up, I think. I still have to get more tubs. I'm down to $60 to last me for the rest of the week, and I still have to get gas. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I'm finally hitting that point in life when I have to decide for myself what's more priority, what's more important, and trying to figure out for myself where everything goes in life and where everything kind of just fits together. How to maintain energy, when to go party, when not to go party, which I never really partied anyways, but it still feels like as if I have to find a way to kind of make ends meet with myself, which I hope that I can maintain and achieve. Whether or not I can finish what I started, will this turn into something? They're all questions that everyone has to ask themselves. Will this become something? Is it something that I can use as a tool to help people? Will I be using this as an actual application in life? I hope so. I really do. I just hope that it means something in the end. If it's even worth, I don't know. You just gotta make sure it's worth it. And whether or not what you're doing is gonna mean something. Looking over the financial plan I've got seems to be a lot more than what most people have. I mean, I've talked to my boyfriend. He wants to go back to school, and he doesn't even know what he wants to do. I mean, he wants to be a programmer, but what degree does that entitle? What do you need for that? And he doesn't even know if he'll be able to go to school this semester. Which, hey, if he can't, he can't, but at least get everything set up so that in the winter he can join then. If all else fails, then at least this will give me building blocks I would need. If I'm going to be in debt for the rest of my life, I'm going to be in poverty anyways, right? I don't think it'll matter at that point. In debt for the rest of my life. Why does it have to go that way? I don't know. Why is it that if we want great things, we have to carry this burden the rest of the way? Why can't we change the game up a little bit? I don't know. But I wanted to make this into a podcast instead of a video due to the fact that I don't necessarily have the proper tools quite yet to make a full-fledged vlog. But at least in this case, I can sit down and say, at least I got it off my chest, As of right now, I'm pretty much almost broke every week. Almost every month. I'm going to be very broke this month because of the fact that I have a 3-day suspension because of being off on the register. And I'm tired as hell. I'm so excited I got this financial plan straightened out and all laid out, and I know what I'm going to be doing. I know how much to spend. I know what not to spend. I know to get certain help, like I can go find food banks nearby. Maybe I can get food that way. But at the same time, I wonder how much of a mature adult on the inside I have become. Whether or not this school financial aid is going to mean anything. And I apologize, I switched from financial aid to, deep thought of, is it worth it? Like emo kid, almost. I'm an emo kid. That's what's happened. I am an emo kid. I'm an emo kid. Yeah, just trying to figure out what the end result should be. Where should it go, and what does it mean? Does it have any kind of ending that's good or bad regardless? And if it does, how do I know? How do I keep going? I don't know either way. I just wish I knew. Looking at all my stuff and just trying to think of where it's going to go, how much is staying, how much is going. Just tired all the time and trying to think what should I get rid of, what should I keep, and I don't know. I guess it's just really confusing. I guess this is just going to be a short vlog. I needed to get this off my chest. I've got a lot of things to do today and call about and ask what the deal is. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. I'm going to try to work on my story a little bit, see what I can get with that, and hopefully I can get my mind straightened out. But at least I have a plan. At least I have some kind of idea of what I'm doing and where this is going. So, can't complain there. I will talk to some of you guys later. Thanks for listening, and hopefully this means something in the end. Peace out, and have a good one, guys. I need an intro! Make me an intro!